is to go. We're also having a huge gathering in the city of Taiz, which has become the epicenter of the pro-democracy movement. Thousands and thousands of pro-democracy protesters are gathering in the Tahrir Square, in the Liberation Square, in the center of the city of Taiz, with the same demands: radical change in Yemen.
Okay, so just to confirm, these pictures that we're actually seeing are from a pro-government protest in Sana'a, Yemen. People holding placards and banners in support of President Saleh, and we see some images of him as well. Don't have a close enough view to see what some of those banners actually say, but you do see hundreds of people at least streaming towards the camera there. Let's talk to Muhammad Al-Qadi. I'm hearing that you're at a protest over the phone. I'm not sure which protest you're actually at, because we're hearing of other anti-government protests in Sana'a and Taiz as well. Which one are you at?
I am here at Sana'a, which is marking the biggest protest I've ever seen since this protest against the President Saleh started. You can say there are over 100,000 protesters. They rallied at the site and they filled in all the streets surrounding the university campus, and they performed a religious, the Friday prayers at the site, in which a very prominent religious leader, he's called Abdullah Tatar, and he has issued like a fatwa in which he asked all the Yemeni people to take to the streets to demand that President Saleh resign and the departure of his regime. Actually, at the protest also, people talked about the dialogue. Saleh offered yesterday and the committee to start dialogue with the young people who are protesting in Taiz, in Sana'a, and in Aden, and they said, we are rejecting his offer. We have been promised, dialogue since he took over power for 33 years, and we have seen nothing and no fruit from all his promises. And they said there is no option for him only to live with his relatives, as well as to return all the money he has taken from the government. And they said they have promised, and they have, you can say they have made an oath at the site that they will not leave the site until he leaves power.
Okay, Mohammed, thanks for painting the picture for us, giving us some insight into this massive rally, which is in support of President Ali Abdullah Saleh in Sana'a, Yemen. When we're looking at pictures from Yemeni state television, we don't have pictures of those other rallies that we're informed of elsewhere in Sana'a, the capital, as well as other places like Taiz. And to remind you, it's just gone 1100 GMT. These pictures from the east of Libya, Benghazi, where the protesters, the anti-Muammar Gaddafi movement, has claimed control of the city. Massive scenes of hundreds of thousands of people in the coastal city of Libya, and people waving flags. These pictures coming through to us from Libya. We've seen pictures from Iraq, we've seen pictures from Egypt, we've seen pictures from Yemen. Now these pictures from Libya, where Muammar Gaddafi, the Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, has been in power for over 42 years. He's lost power in the east of the country, and just across the border from the east, just across the border in Egypt, Jamal al-Shayal has been monitoring events, speaking to people who have been going both ways, some giving medical supplies to the Libyans crossing from Egypt, others fleeing the violence, fleeing being attacked by Gaddafi loyalists. Let's talk to him now. Jamal, what's going on where you are right now?
Well, Imran, because we are so close to the border, we're able to pick up the radio signals coming out from local radio stations inside Libya. And I was listening into one of the Friday sermons. It was an anti-Gaddafi sermon. I'm not sure who the religious preacher was. However, it was very strongly worded. It was one that was depicting a victorious picture in the east and encouraging their fellow Libyans in the west of the country to continue the uprising. Whether that message would be heard on the other side of the country is difficult for us to tell here. However, by the sentiments expressed through this Friday sermon and the cheers we heard following Friday prayers there, you could